Well, hello, everyone. Welcome to Real Estate with Ryan. So excited to be with you on a weekend, on a Saturday. Having a great time. Hope you guys are having an amazing weekend. And thanks for taking time out of your time to spend with us. Always love it. Got a great show for you. Talk a little real estate. What a week. What a busy week. Like I said, it's been a blur this week. So much going on. First show back since we are national champions. How awesome is that? If you guys had a chance to go to the parade, and how about watch the game? Didn't have a chance to go to the parade. I should have got down there. Should have brought my kiddos down there. It looked like a lot of fun. And so just congrats to the men's baseball team, national champions. Tony V and the men did an awesome job. I know if you guys were like us, if you're watching the game and getting down to the ninth inning, and my wife was like, she said, I just can't watch. It was that suspenseful, and it was a good one. It was a great series, and super proud for the athletic department, UT, Vol Nation, man. It was super exciting. Fans were great. Kids did an awesome job, and really fun to watch. So program's off to amazing things, and now we'll shift right into football, basketball right around the corner. And wasn't that pretty cool? All the coaches, most of the coaches there supporting the program. It was good to see it, and even had Morgan Wallen out there. So it was good times, and glad to see everybody out there, and go Vols. So that's congrats to our Vols. So I had to say that. We're going to start off our show with that. I said, it's sports, but everybody's talking about the Vols. So exciting opportunity to be a Vol, and congrats for the men's baseball team. Awesome job. All right, so we got a good show for you in real estate market. Really, really busy. We're going to start and talk about our new listings, some congrats, and then jump into our show. So we've got a great show. It's summertime. Kiddos are out of school, and we're talking about pools. So what about pools? Well, we'll give you the housing news first. And should I buy a home with a pool or not? Does a pool add value? We're going to discuss that and so much more. Second half, if we have some time, we're going to talk about creative ways for financing. We know the rates haven't changed a whole lot. We got a little bit of a decrease this week. Talking about a 2-1 buy down. If you know what a 2-1 buy down, stay tuned. We're going to talk about that. Could that save some money in the next couple of years while the rates are still a little bit closer to the 7 range? So talk about that and so much more. So congrats always. New listings on 1212 Harper's Place in Knoxville, in West Knoxville out here. Great little property there. I say little, it's all brick. Close to 4,000 square feet. Great backyard, perfect for the kiddos. 2-car garage. Make sure you check that property out. 2312 Don's Pass in Knoxville. As soon as it listed, Rocky Hill area. Unfortunately for everybody, it's under contract. 1 day on the market. Congrats to our sellers there. 1006 Henrietta Drive in Knoxville. That's one you're going to want to check out. Just hit the market, and guess what? It has an in-ground pool, fenced-in backyard. Make sure you're going to check that out. 625 Tater Valley Road out in Luttrell. A lot of land, and if you're a horse lover, you want to check this property out. Perfect for horses, has its own stalls, almost 10 acres out there. Make sure you check that property out. Congrats to our great sellers for pending. We got a property on 138 Dayflower Way in Maynardville under contract. Congrats. 201 Wolfenberger Road under contract again. Hopefully going to closing table next week. And then 1501 Loudon Highway. Great past client of ours. Congrats. And then we have 2312, I talked about Don's Pass under contract. Congrats to our closing on 1794 Chestnut Hill Road. Great builder out there. Got that lot under contract. Columbia Drive in Oak Ridge. Congrats. In Eagle Ridge Road in Rockwood. Congrats. So a lot of activity here. Real Estate with Ryan. A lot moving in the real estate market, as we know. Had a great presidential debate the other day. I say great, but there was a presidential debate yesterday. Won't talk about that. But there's a lot of things moving. And where does that put the housing market? Talked about the housing market a little bit in the debate yesterday, talking about that, the affordability, inflation. What are they going to do? Don't know. But we're looking at that, and how is that affecting if you're buying or selling? Is that going to affect the housing market interest rates? So, it's always a pivotal time when we have a main election like this. So, one person's, incumbent, the other person is trying to get reelected or get elected. And so how would that affect the real estate market? So we know news came out the other day, and this is important news. Let's see here. Highest inventory of new U.S. homes since 2008, threatening the building market. We talked about a little bit of the last week, but the inventory of new homes stands at its highest since bursting on the housing bubble almost a decade ago, raising the risk that builders will dial back production in the market, making it harder for buyers. We talked about that last week, that we had almost 4.5 million homes shortage. So still have a shortage in the market. The total number of one-family homes rose to 481,000, and that's in May, the highest since 2008. Okay. And so it goes to talk a little bit more about that, but obviously the single-family and new construction has slowed some here in our local market. They've changed some of the pace. Some of the builders that you're seeing in our market dialed back some of the production. Not sure if they're committed to moving forward. Some builders have committed to where they're at. And guess what? They're selling their current inventory. And it makes it challenging, especially when we talk about if you're selling your home in today's market. Now one of our biggest competitors, no matter whether you're in Sevierville market, Halls, maybe in West Knoxville, Loudon, it seems like there's new construction everywhere you look. And so those opportunities are now you're competing against. And it always makes it tough. So if you get the D.R. Hortons and the Ball Homes and some of those guys that are out there, the inventory is not the same quality as some of the resales. And some of the resales are a better buy. But in today's climate, you have to watch that because a lot of the price is drawing buyers in. So we'll talk a little bit more about that and what we can do to combat that. But like I said, interest rates did cool down a little bit. I think they were at 6.87 30-year mortgage. And so that was good to see. As when you see the rates adjust a little bit in the market, we've seen an uptick in sales. I think we worked on probably 5 or 6 this week. So that's still challenging in the marketplace where if your home's on the market, we're not seeing the showings that we need to see. So we need to reposition, look at pricing, need to look at activity. And sellers really need to understand that we're a little bit more longer days on market. We're seeing longer days on the market, although the abnormal, we just listed one, sells right away. But we're not always seeing that. So keep in mind that the days are a little bit different. Buyers are more selective in what they're looking for. They're taking a little bit more time. Great property that we met with the other day in Maryville, and just told him that the understanding that, in the marketplace today, just because it's in Maryville or West Knoxville doesn't mean that buyers aren't expanding their search criteria. And so what we're looking for in one area, we may have to expand to a wider reach to see if our value is where we need to be, and making sure we're having the marketing to kind of reach those buyers. So let's get into our show. We're talking about a pool. Does a pool help or hurt your home's value? It's a good topic. And the reason I brought that up, we've got several properties with pool. One that just sold over there in Don's Pass. One of the top reasons that she made a move on it was because of the pool. So you go back during the pandemic, and a lot of pools weren't being built. Obviously, a lot of new homes weren't being built, things like that. And so in the marketplace that I think the last several properties we've had pools have been in demand. And I asked, we had one property, I want to say it was out in Union County or maybe right on the border of Union County, Maynardville, out in that area. And that particular property had an older pool. It was an old concrete pool. It's seen its day, and the sellers were thinking about possibly filling it in. But they didn't fill it in. And they said we could do that fairly easy. And the buyer that bought it wanted to keep that pool and redo it versus build a new one. They said, Ryan, the cost of building a new pool, not only timing, but the cost has skyrocketed since the pandemic. So we'll talk a little more about that. So that's something to think about. So swimming pools obviously would make any buyer fall in love with your home. If you already have a swimming pool, do the buyers happily splash, immediately dash for the responsibility of it? No, of course not. Figuring out the real value of a pool is important. And if you want your next home to go seamlessly, right? So reading an article here, so it's obviously not the best wordings, but it's definitely an opportunity with pools to see what the value is. A lot of people on pools been told over the years that if you have a pool, it hurts the value or it has no value at all. But the reality in today's market, I've seen, and of course this is testifying for what our clients have had, pools are adding real value. I think just the cost of it. But with every home, every buyer has an opportunity, right? And every buyer has a specific need. So for every home, there's a specific buyer. We just got to find the right buyer that makes sense. So there's above ground pools and in-ground pools, and they're totally different in cost of value. Look, we're coming up in the second half. We'll talk more about pools and so much more. Stay with us, second half.
Your friend promised we wouldn't be homeless.
He promised. He's doing everything to fix it.
You need to call and have him fix it now.
Hey, man.
Found us a house.
No, not yet. Let me call you back. We're working on it.
Ryan Coleman with Hometown
He
Realty.
says he's doing the best he can do, honey.
Well, he's taking too long. I knew we should have gone with Ryan Coleman.
Choosing the right agent is never easy.
Call your hometown experts. We'll take care of all the details and make sure you don't get stuck in a motel.
I'm Ryan Coleman with Hometown Realty. The real estate market's changing every day. You need to know your home's value in today's market. Text your home address to 290-2290 for an instant, no obligation home evaluation. That's 865-290-2290. And remember, when you're ready to sell, we have a guaranteed sale program to get you in your next home stress-free. Trust your hometown experts. We've helped thousands of people just like you. All right, we're back out of Real Estate with Ryan, second half. Having fun. Always fun. You know, it's hard to do these shows. Sometimes got so much data, information, and on the fly, it's always fun. I mean, I don't know about you guys, but maybe that's just a sign that we're ready for the holidays. Hope you guys are as well. Busy week coming up, July 4th, so much going on. Only makes sense that pools we're talking about, does a pool add value or not? And different types of pools, as we were talking about the first segment, above ground pools or in-ground. So above ground, obviously, lots to assemble will be required for a pool. Temporary structure, those things really don't have a whole lot of value and can sometimes on the real estate market be a nuisance. Now, the challenge with a above ground pool, if you take it away, you usually have a decking around it. You've got some landscape issues. So sometimes my recommendation, leave it. And then the new buyer can take care of it and do what you need to do. Obviously, in the summer season, it's going to show well. It's going to photograph well. Nothing like a hot summer day with a nice, pretty pool. But if you're going to show it, you're going to sell it, you got to have the pool ready. It's got to be clean. It's got to look good, tip-top shape, okay? In-ground pool, major construction. Obviously, there's different types of pools between 20, 40 feet deep, 6 feet in depth. Of course, you can go 9 foot. Just depends on what you want to do. Rectangular, square, round, L shape. We've got a cool one that's coming up. They've got like a water slide, a bunch of stone, real expensive pool. So you can spend as much as you want to with it. But let's talk about resale value. Will it add value? And this is one of the biggest things that, especially some of our luxury property that we sell, and a lot of these homes, the owners have spent a lot of money, not just for resale. It's really for their own enjoyment, right? Our kiddos, the grandbabies. I know we had one out on Captain's Way, boat dock. I mean, it was beautiful. But when it comes time to resell, let's say the buyer loves the area, it's on the water, it's got a pool, it's great, but the pool is, not the X factor. We like it, but, we got small kids. Maybe that's not what we want. But we'll take it, but it's not the deciding factor. More the deciding factor was the basement, the layout, mom's going to be with us, and just so many different things close to my office. So you get into all those things. And sometimes the banks or the appraisers, even if it's financing or cash, the appraisers will give us a value for the pool. It may mean that you may not get exactly what you put in it. Spend $200 on a pool, may only get $25 to $50. And that really will aggravate the sellers. But sometimes this comes in. We spoke to an appraiser and gave a seller about $25,000 to $27,000 for a screened-in, in-ground pool. I had the sellers that spent over $100,000 for that pool. The appraiser would not increase the appraisal. Of course, it made the sellers very upset. We deal with that on a routine basis. So just keep in mind, building, new construction, resale doesn't always mean that you're going to get the value back. So although it may mean your home will sell quicker because it has a pool. And so those are some of the deciding factors, the ones without a pool. Because somebody that really wants a pool, right, may, as long as you're in the range where you need to be, checks all the boxes for the property and your home, because yours had a pool, it's going to make it happen. Reasons to want a pool, obviously, and for your family, private, do a lot of entertaining. If you own a business, there's opportunity there for entertaining. A little tax write-off is always good. Low impact exercises, good for the community. Reasons not to want a pool. You like ongoing maintenance, insurance premiums. They have little kiddos. We didn't get a pool. My daughter wants a pool. She still wants a pool. They're getting a little bit older. He's 4 and 9. My son's 4 and 9. But there's so many concerns regarding safety concerns and just things that we don't want to talk about that with the pool. So I don't think even if we get something new, we'll do a pool. Just makes me nervous. So even though they can swim, at least my daughter can swim. My son's kind of halfway there. Just safety concerns. If that concerns you, then a pool is not for you. And then limited space in backyard. You got to make sure we have space that makes sense to lay it out and also have room for the dog babies and everybody else and stuff like that. Demand is high. I can't imagine that getting a pool put in. Some people are almost 2 years out. And we talked about the pandemic and how that did affect the pool market. Agents estimate that prior to COVID, a house with a pool fetched on average $16,137 more than a house without a pool. Now, the house with the pool could sell for an estimated $27,000 more on average. So those are good numbers. Demand is still high for 2022. You say, does demand of a pool, is there demand? I think there is. And obviously in certain localities or certain states, you go to California, Florida, Texas, Las Vegas, different places like that, a lot of opportunities in the pool market, that those are a must. Those are almost a guaranteed. If you don't have a property with a pool, then you may have a harder sell. So you see a lot of those properties out in Arizona, different things like that, they have to have a pool. It's just a given. And so those are opportunities there in the marketplace that are a must. East Tennessee, not so much, but there's are opportunities. If you have one, maybe it's a new construction, you want to build one, make sure you do your price shopping. One of my sellers is a pool installer. He said the prices have skyrocketed. Not a surprise, right? Everything has skyrocketed. But those are things to think about before selling or purchasing. Now, should I remove my pool before I sell? Remember, actually filling in a pool could be between $2,700 to $20,000. My seller that we talked about in Manorville in the first part of the show did not fill it in. One of the other things to think about and kind of debate is if you have a pool that is really dilapidated, needs some work, the buyer may accept it, right? The buyer may accept it. What may not accept it? So what do you mean, Ryan? If you have a lender? Well, let's say you don't even have a lender. We've got a large one that we've been dealing with about $1 million in Sevierville, and they had an issue with it was, believe it or not, it was a small earthquake. It was a tremor that went through, and one of the issues there was an insurance claim. So, kind of go back to my point, you may not require it. The lender may or may not require it. Even if it's a cash deal, your insurance company may not insure on it. You may not be able to get homeowners insurance on it. So that's another issue. So talk to your agent. Get somebody that specializes with pools, high-end properties, does a lot of volume, has some great resources that can help guide you on what to do. We always encourage you guys, and that's why this process, hard to believe it's June, going to be July in just a matter of a couple days. And if you're thinking about buying or selling, and we're going through this year that is obviously, it's exciting. There's some different challenges that we're facing in the real estate market. I would encourage you to give us a call. Obviously, you got several ways you can contact us and we can help you anyway. But get us out to the property early. Let us have a conversation. If you have some things like the pool or suggestions on whether homeowners insurance is going to make you fix it or repair it, that's an opportunity. Our office number is 693-SOLD. Let's say you're not ready yet. You don't want to talk to me. I get it. I've got an easy number for you. You can text us your home's value. All right, you just text this number, give us your value. My team will get right back to you. Even if it's the weekend, we'll get right back to you. And we'll give you a value of today's market. And when you get closer, then we can have an opportunity to come out and talk to you. That number, if you want to get your home's value, is 865-290-2290. I'll repeat that, 865-290-2290. So text me, I'll give you your home's value, we'll talk about that, and then when you're ready, we can get a scheduled appointment. So I do encourage that, I really do, especially with so many moving parts, getting those opportunities. I know a lot of you guys have that listened to us, have taken us up on that opportunity, getting us out to the property. Is strongly suggested. Doesn't mean you have to go with us, doesn't have to do anything. There's no obligation. We're just here to help you and put you in the right position where we need to move forward. Is there anything that you need to have when preparing your home for sale with a pool? I would just say very key, make sure it's uncovered unless it's in really, really bad shape. Make sure it's serviced, have all your documentation from your pool people, because that's going to be another inspection that we're going to come across. Make sure everything's up to date, and that will be very beneficial. Let's see, anything else we want to talk about? Well, as we close the last minute here, talk about buy downs, how they're very, very popular. And so we got a 2-1 buy down in the marketplace. Get with your lender or get with a great agent that explains that. But basically it allows you to have some closing costs and incentives in the marketplace, and allows you to do a 2-1 buy down and buy the interest rate down. And how they work is they buy it down over a period. So the first year starts at X and then goes down to the final rate. It's a great opportunity in today's marketplace to look at a 2-1 buy down, and maybe something that you would consider as the interest rates are all over the board. And is something in the marketplace as a buyer that if you have us helping you, we can get into closing costs. So something to think about as this market changes. Hope you guys enjoyed the show. Love being with you every weekend. If you need us, you can always reach us at 693-SOLD or visit me at ryancoleman.org. You guys have an amazing weekend. We'll see you next week.